Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is CyberWarriorStudios, and you know what it is. You're all here for Security Happy Hour. I notice. And with me today, I have, of course, my partner in crime, the one and only GeecheeThreat, Liana McCrea. How you doing, Liana?
Oh, we hanging it out. We hanging it out. We remixing it on this Thursday. I almost forgot. It's not Friday.
Right? It's Thirsty Thursday.
I know it took me out.
So, joining us today, and I gotta be honest, I did not realize it. We just found out before the show. Coming from South Africa, we have Faith. Faith, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I can't complain. You know, it's a Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. Skull. Cheers, by the way,
Hey,
everybody.
hey.
The week is almost over.
It is, and tomorrow. So look, for all my viewers, all the people that watch know, I normally do this on Fridays. I know, I'm a day early, but guess what? I'm gonna be at SmackDown tomorrow night. So I'm sorry, but it's three rows from the front. I had to go. I
Ooh,
couldn't say no. Someone asked
ooh.
me, so we going to SmackDown tomorrow. Um, but yeah, so we're here and we're living it up. Now, saying that, it's been happy hour the last 3 hours. Paul's a trip. That's my brother right there.
Hey.
That's how veterans do in the last 3 hours. That's what I'm talking about. It's been about 2 hours for me, Paul.
Dang,
Um,
y'all started early.
I always start right after work. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, do it that much.
So Faith joining us, I gotta ask. All right, so please give people a rundown because first I want them to understand your background because right now you are going for a PhD. So please give a little explanation of what you're doing now, and then we'll talk about what we got going in the future.
Okay, I am a PhD student in marketing at Durban University of Technology in South Africa. But now I want to break into tech as I realize that the future is tech. So I decided to choose cybersecurity.
That's awesome. And so look, you're finishing your thesis and you're trying to get into cybersecurity. Now I will say this: the fact that you're going for your PhD, going to have your PhD, lends a lot of background to a lot of transferable skills, right? Writing, speech, because presentations, talking to executives, and things of that nature, and clients, if you're in consulting or sales or what have you, are huge. And so, even when I went through my degree, I had to take a public speaking course. So, I do know that for a lot of degree programs, it may be, hey, you can do this, but a lot of people, because they think it's easy, are going to take public speaking. So I got to ask, in the course of your bachelor's, like your undergrad degree, and now your PhD, have you done public speaking courses to help you going through, heading into cybersecurity?
No, I haven't done any at the university, but I've done some courses where I was working before.
Okay, which still gives a lot of credit to your ability to kind of learn and grow, and that's something that's huge within the cybersecurity industry is constant research and growth, and always learning because it changes so frequently, and that's IT, cybersecurity, sales for cyber, marketing for cyber, you name it. You have to keep up with terminology and things of that nature. So with that, do you what do you feel going through your PhD as a marketing student, right? So we're not talking right now the tech, soft skills wise, the people skills. What skills do you feel you would bring to the table with any company in cybersecurity? Because I feel like it's a lot, and I can rattle them off, but I'm gonna let you give your say on that first.
Okay, so I'm sorry, we're just having blackouts and my network might be dropping.
That's okay. You know what? We had that problem last week. We make do. It's okay. It's okay. We're still here. So I can still hear you. I hope you can hear me. So the question is,
Yeah,
we want to talk about the degrees, right? And whether or not you need a degree in cybersecurity or IT to get into cybersecurity. So to go with that, with your current degree program and every degree program you've done, because you are going for a PhD, what people skills in your learning do you feel you bring to the table for cybersecurity? I think it's a lot, but I want to hear your take on it.
I think organizational skills, that's
Definitely.
one.
What about research and writing?
Yes, I was going to say that.
Yeah, I definitely think
So
you have a lot of
organizational
it.
skills, research, collaboration skills, communication. I'm not sure if data-driven decision making also fits in with cybersecurity, but I think it's also a transferable skill that I'll bring in.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Cybersecurity is a lot of data, a lot of correlation, a lot of different things. So those skills. So I got to say this, you getting your PhD in marketing is going to be huge. And if you learn to articulate, if you understand how to articulate those skills that you've learned into transferable skills, which most of them are, um, then getting into cybersecurity with all of the education you have, regardless of the degree program, is huge. Absolutely huge. And I think you bring a lot of that to the table because if you have that look, you were the first one besides my buddy Sarn AR that really talks about the data and data driven analytics and things like that and being able to use data to drive different pieces of information is huge. And it is something not a lot of people understand in terms of how you can correlate data. And it's all about data driven analytics. That's what a lot of it is. We got some comments already. Man. Uh how let's see this one real quick. How can I get to see if the job is right for me and to see how good the job is? It was a help desk job and they had lots of negative reviews. Uh Carrie, we'll talk on that one later. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Charles coming in the clutch. A lot of people forget that we are generally public facing, and it's a huge skill. That's huge. Yeah. To balance, you can be insanely technical and get turned down because you can't talk to the client. So, Faith, how do you feel your people skills would be in talking to the client? Because that is a huge point that a lot of people don't understand.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm not someone who talks a lot, but I execute. So if you ask me to do something, I will do it. I'll exceed your expectations, but when it comes to talking, I still need to work on that area.
Yeah, for sure. And again, though, you have the execution part down. You have the technical part of like, okay, I can learn, I can do. You tell me what to do, I can do it. You tell me I need to write a report, I can write it. You tell me I need to do this, I can do it. It's that talking to executives or that consulting piece that you may be missing. And that's going to take time. If you need to be comfortable in your own skin and your knowledge and what you know before you're comfortable talking about certain topics. So I completely understand that point. And I think with your knowledge and with what you've already done going for your PhD, you'll get there. You'll be able to sit there and honestly probably run circles around tons of cybersecurity people because you already have a lot of that writing and research background that many don't have. Many that are just trying to break in don't have that research and writing background. So they have to learn it as well as learn the technical side. You just have to learn the technical side, which will then boost your confidence in speaking. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Liana, what you got? You're sitting there all quiet on me, girl. I'm used to Eric cutting me off, man. I need you.
I didn't want to cut anybody off, but what I was thinking about is the fact that, Faith, you come with a marketing background, and even though you have to learn the technical aspect of it, you essentially know how to talk to people. So one thing that you probably would be really well at doing is actually social engineering. You'd know how to talk to people, get people to open up to you, be vulnerable, and actually, socially exploit people. And that's a whole nother ball game, not just the technical, because there are some people who can just do the technical, but then they can't do the social aspect. So it all depends on, how you're using those transferable skills. But marketing, I mean, you can talk to anybody. You can turn around and use it for data analytics as well. But social engineering, social engineering, especially coming from a marketing perspective, once you get down to talking to people, forget it. That's what's running on my mind right now. I'm thinking about it from a cultural perspective. I'm thinking about it from a marketing perspective. I'm like, there's so many ways that you can get your hands dirty. Social engineering right there, that in itself, get your hands dirty.
Yeah, definitely. And my boy Michael coming through, through my experience briefing and talking to personnel is a critical skill. Most individuals do not understand what you're talking about. Faith, you sound awesome. He said she sounds awesome, but I'm gonna point it out. Faith, he's talking about you. You sound awesome. So just know people are here for you. But yeah, so let's talk about degrees. Let's kind of bring it into that because you are going for a PhD in marketing. As far as cybersecurity, in your opinion, do you feel, and we'll start off with this topic, do you feel a degree is necessary?
Initially, I didn't thought it was necessary, but after what you have said, that my research skills are needed and my writing skills are also needed, I now feel that it's necessary.
I'm going to change your mind in a second. Liana, what do you say? Do you think a degree is necessary for cybersecurity?
Hell no. Hell no. If you got enough passion, you got enough persistence, you're a lifelong learner, take your time, network and talk to people. I know some brilliant people who are high school dropouts that'll run circles around some folks that have PhDs. Just know it's all about you. At the end of the day, are you down to learn? If you can learn it, you can break it down, you can explain it to people, you can get in. It's rare, don't get me wrong, it's rare. But again, if you're a lifelong learner and you're committed to it, you can do it.
Yep, and we got a lot of comments here. Man, Faith, look. So Michael Burnside, I know from the Army. This man ain't talked on a single one of my shows for probably quite a few months. It's been a while since I've seen his presence in the chat. But he even tells you you'll be able to sell your skills. You're above the curve in that aspect. Your current skills take you far beyond what you think. When I talk about knowing the technical, that is free learning. KevTech IT support, myself, and so many others out there, you can learn the IT foundations and the technical side easily. It's learning the people skills that a lot of times college teaches you. When you're going for those bachelor degrees and PhDs and doctorates and masters and things like that, you learn so much more about research and interacting with people that you don't get through learning the technical side. And that's the big difference. So technical, it's easy to learn for free. People skills, it's so hard to learn unless you put yourself in those situations. A PhD candidate that's writing your thesis right now, you're learning the research aspect of it. You're learning and doing things that a lot of people in this career field have never done. There are very, very few master's degree or PhD candidate or doctorates in cybersecurity. They exist, don't get me wrong, but they're few and far between. because we move up because we get our bachelor's in cybersecurity or get a bunch of certifications, get hired, and just move up the chain. You're setting yourself apart because you're already coming in with so many of those soft skills that we have to learn outside of here. I learned a lot of mine in the military and going through my bachelor's degree program, but you're already learning it. You already know it. So transferring it over to cybersecurity, take some free IT courses, watch some YouTube videos, start playing with labs. At your point in your life, I don't think you need to switch a degree to cybersecurity. I don't think it's necessary. You already have the PhD. You already have what companies are looking for in terms of your higher level executive functions. It's the tech side. You can be trained in that. That's free training. Man, we got so many people in the chat today. I got to try to keep up. So we do have Misha here, and Misha was on my show recently. So Faith, if you don't know, Misha is going through. She does something in pharmacy. I forget. Misha, I'm sorry, I forget what you do in pharmacy. I know you do something with it. But hearing the back and forth on if a degree is worth it makes her question herself working towards the degree, or if I should just work on at home or certifications. There's always a back and forth. So Faith, if I told you you could get a cybersecurity job without ever getting a cybersecurity degree, would you waste the money?
No.
Now, if you were already in the midst of a degree and saw the value of interacting with other people and doing the learning, right, and you had the ability to fund it and not go into extreme amounts of debt like we do here in the U.S. I don't know about you in South Africa, but in the U.S., a lot of us go into excruciatingly amounts of debt to go and further our education. If you realize there was a huge benefit to going through, even with that debt, would you do it?
Yes, I would definitely do it.
And there it is. And that's the thing. Everybody has their own path and their own journey. Everybody has their own way of doing things. No two people are going to get into cybersecurity the exact same way. No two people are going to get into IT the exact same way. Here's the thing about college, high school, middle school. I don't care what school you go to. I don't care where you grew up. I don't care where you come from. You always get out of school what you put into it. So me, being me, I drank my way through college. I played video games through college. I got little to nothing out of college. Not to say I couldn't have. I just didn't apply myself. So I didn't learn what I could have learned. I didn't get out of it what I could have. Anybody who goes there and truly applies themselves and learns those skills to interact with different groups of people and write papers and do the research. I know firsthand that I could have got a ton more out of college than I really did. Now, would I have taken the debt if I was smarter? No. No, I wouldn't have. But there's so much more you can get out of different things. You can get into cybersecurity without a degree. You can go to a trade school or a tech school and get a certification or many certifications. You can join the military and get a ton of training and certifications there. And look, for all my veteran brothers and sisters out there, if you join the Army and the Marines, don't ever count on doing your job. You're a soldier first, so they don't care about your career. You get the training, not the job. It's okay. But yeah, I think you can get a lot from, and I say that from Michael. He was in one of my units. But I say that because we get out of life what we put into it. You get out of your education what you put into it. Can you learn on your own? Yes. Is it valuable? Yes. Nothing beats hands-on experience. Nothing when it comes to technical. But the personal skills, unless you get your ass out of your house and do something, you can't learn from a computer. It is impossible. with the exception of maybe research. But learning how to write papers from a computer when you have no one to turn them into, how are you going to learn that? How are you going to know if you're doing it right? And that is where college comes in handy, because that is when you get feedback and people will actually talk to you. Liana, what you got?
What I'm curious about, honestly, more than anything, what's the culture of cybersecurity like out there where you're at, Faith? Like, I know we have our own culture here in America, but is it something that's really big that people are into where you're at on your side of town?
I haven't done a lot of research in that regard, but I think people are starting to, not cybersecurity as such, but tech. People are now into tech because there are more jobs in tech than any other field. Like, it's a critical skill, so people know that if you train in any tech course, it's easier for you to get a job than in any other course.
So it makes sense to naturally just pivot over.
Yes, it does.
Question for you, another question for you, because I'm filled with questions. A lot of the jobs that you guys are seeing out there, though, in tech, are they in person or are they remote?
Uh, I think it's 50-50. Some are in person, some are in, remote, and some are hybrid.
I wasn't expecting that answer. I really wasn't. Normally it's, normally one versus the other, but not bad. Not bad at all. Derek, what you got for me?
In
So I'm looking
Oh,
through these. Oh, you got something, Faith? Go for it. Faith, you were about to say something. You got something?
no,
Okay. So this is where, look, a lot of people are giving you kudos, and a lot of people are talking about what you already know. Diego DevOps, of course, he would have the anonymous mask because he doesn't have his real name there. You could get a job at a big security firm. Knowing how to explain in detail a service or product requires understanding about cybersecurity and the products you are selling. And that's the thing, is if you just start to understand the foundations of things and how cybersecurity operates. So let's take the CISP, for example. It's a mile wide and inch deep. It's very much a generalized certification meant more for management and the CISO or security director or security manager level. But what it does do is it gives you that broad overview in an inch deep of all the different topics. So with a marketing background or a sales background or anything like that, excuse me, you could say get a security plus, which will give you an entry level security certification, and then be in the field for, I don't know, year, 2 years. They say 5 to 10, but with you already having a degrees, I think it's like 3 to 5 or something like that. And get SSP. And now you are at a level unheard of, because with your background and the fact that now you have this IT and cybersecurity background, right? Because you've been in the field, let's say 1 to 3 years, and you have a PhD in marketing, and you have all these soft skills, and now you have a CISP which understands management and understands the business aspect of things. Now you're going even further, because now your level of knowledge goes beyond what the techies know. I'm a techie. Now I understand business, but that's because I've owned businesses. But in my heart, I've always been a techie. I've always wanted to be hands-on. Now that's changed over the last few years, but for the most part, give me hands-on to any piece of equipment and I can learn about it and fix it and understand how it works. But for people that aren't necessarily techies, where their passion doesn't lie in fixing or breaking, it lies more in career development and kind of moving up the ladder, understanding the business side of things and the marketing side of things, which is huge because it gets into sales, and then the cybersecurity side of things, which can be self-taught very, very easily. That moves you up rungs and rungs so much quicker than someone trying to break in with nothing. You have something that others don't. It's that soft skill marketing background, that PhD. That's what you have above everybody else. or at least the vast majority of people. I'm not going to say everybody, but the vast majority of people. That PhD in marketing will set you apart if you know how to market and sell yourself. But otherwise, I mean, degrees are tricky. Faith, do you think a degree, how much would you say you got out of your degree so far? Both of them, or three of them, whatever it takes to get to a PhD. I don't know. Out of all of your learning, what's the biggest benefit you got out of it, and what has been the biggest detriment to going to school for this long? She's on mute. I don't think she heard me. You're
I
on
think
mute.
you're on mute.
There we go.
Okay. I was saying, with my degree, I've learned to do research. That's number one. And also, I've learned something that most salespeople do, which is not professional. They lie to clients when they're selling something. But in school, we're taught no, it's a no. Tell the client the truth, like everything about the product or the service that you are offering. You don't have to lie. So it's something that I've learned. And when I'm working with someone and they start lying, it kind of annoys me because I know it's not right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and we have a big talk about that because in college, I took an ethics class. And at the time I went through college, one of the things that was real big at the time was peer to peer sharing. So Napster, LimeWire, basically all those virus inducing programs. And it was, we had I actually wrote a paper on it. And it was, ethically, is it ethical to download music? Now, my complaint was if I bought the music, I should be able to download it for free. So let's say I bought a CD, didn't feel like ripping it on my computer, and just wanted one or two songs. I should be able to go on an Napster, download it, and nobody caused me any problems. Same with movies. If I wanted to throw a movie on my computer and didn't have a DVD-ROM, but I had already bought it and had a DVD player, I should be able to download it without any issues. But then you have the issue of, the ethics behind it and things like that. And it's like, you should always tell the truth. But if I lie and say, hey, I bought this movie and then it got lost, so I downloaded it because I didn't want to rebuy it. So there's a lot of problems come in. And so I think when you're in sales, people kind of tend to turn their back on ethics. They don't want to tell the truth because it's all about making money. It's all about how to make the sale. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is used more often in sales, especially within cybersecurity, than anything else. People will say they have AI and ML, and your sales engineers don't even know what the hell it is. Most cybersecurity people don't know what the hell it is because it's still a newer term. It's only been, 5-10 years? A lot of people breaking in don't know what AI and ML actually are and what they do because they're two completely different topics and concepts. So you have people selling things that they have no idea about, and they lie all the time. So if you were to get in, would you listen to a company who tells you to lie about their product? Or would your ethics come into play, and would you tell the truth and leave if you were forced to lie?
No, I will never lie. I will never lie. I would rather leave the job.
And that's where I'm at. I will never lie to someone. When I even growing up fixing computers, hey, how much is it going to cost? That's why I can't give a price on anything. Because to me, it may have cost me $20 for a part, and I'll tell them that outright. Cost me $20 for this. Do you want to pay me that? All right, cool. Because it took me 10 seconds to replace a memory card or something like that, or a RAM module. There she is. I knew she was going to leave. She's
Yeah.
been having issues with her data. So that's okay. We're going to keep running. Yeah, she could drop. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's talk more about degrees and certifications and things of that nature, because that is a hot topic. I talk about it like every episode.
I know.
I know.
But it's something that people keep asking about all the time because it's the same. It's new people coming into the industry every day. So, I mean, it's going to be a question that we're going to always ask.
It is. And I think degrees have their place. I do stand by the fact, though, that you don't need a degree to get into cybersecurity. Can it help? Yes. Does it look great on a resume? Yes. But is it necessary? No. And I think that's the big thing. It comes down to necessity. Is it necessary? No. Is it a benefit? Yes. The detriment comes into the cost. Is your company paying for it, or are you taking out $100,000 worth of student loans to go to school? Here in the U.S., a lot of people know the student loan industry is fucking brutal. And they will take you for all you're worth. It'll never get paid off. So what do? Because I know I grew up in a time, at 35 years old, I grew up in a time where it was get a degree or you'll never get a job. That's what I was told. And yet you grow up and you learn. I could have done all this shit without a degree. My degree didn't get me anywhere.
That's that hurt. I hate to say it like that, but that's that hurt. But it's true.
I got $50-some thousand in student loan debt.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's brutal.
I went to community college, so I couldn't do it. Everyone went to the big schools and they're like, oh, big school. Yeah. And none of those degrees have the only people I know right now that actually got something out of their degrees, doctors and dentists. That's it.
So you know what? Hey, do me a favor.
What's up?
We're gonna have a new guest on the show. Since our guest had a bounce, Liana, go ahead and send Vanessa. Do you know how to share the invite link? Down at the bottom of the screen, you see invite?
Yeah.
Go ahead and send that to Vanessa and get her on.
Teehee. Let's see where I can go find her. I'll be right back.
She just messaged me on Twitter. So send it to her there. So anyways, we got Diego DevOps. Achieving a PhD requires a lot of research, thesis, and dissertations before a committee of professors. You will know how to manage yourself on a higher level. This is so true. And that's the thing. Diego, I agree with you. But the problem is the cost. That is where the problem lies. The cost to a PhD and being able to do those things. My problem is not getting the degree. My problem is the cost behind it. And that's where the issue for me will always lie with degree programs. People are still using Twitter. Rebecca, I still use Twitter. Don't be saying that shit. Ness Hacks. Yeah, that's who we're getting on. Ness Hacks. Ness Hacks has her own podcast if she ever gets back to it. Me and her are going to be fighting. I've been telling her she needs to get back to it so I can listen to it more.
Yeah, she got to make sure she drops that so we can check that out because I haven't heard of it yet.
Oh yeah. She got an amazing podcast. A lot of times my Motivation Mondays, because she would release her podcast on the same day as my Motivation Monday, or she would at least record it. We'd have the same topics in mind. So it was fantastic. It worked out. And sometimes we fed off each other because I'm like, hey, what are you talking about this week? Cool, let me hit on that.
That was quick.
Oh,
there she is. I've been trying to get Vanessa on here forever.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. Nice to see that you made it.
For having me. I'm
Thought
sorry,
you weren't gonna make it.
Was last minute, super last minute, so I don't have my laptop with me, so I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
It's all good. So look, we got oh man, we got so many people in the chat today. It's crazy. Vanessa, I will say this though. I've been trying to get you on for how long now? Close to a year, I think.
Yeah, seriously. It's been a while.
So my friend Vanessa here is still in the reserves or guard. And so she's doing big things always. And we were just talking about, and Daniel, I'm gonna murder you for that comment. Not literally, people. Don't take this shit literally. We were just talking about your podcast that you've been kind of busy and haven't been able to do. And I'm waiting to see more from it, because I was just telling Liana, we were kind of on the same page for a while, doing the same topics for Motivation Monday and then the NSX podcast coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, we were. It was crazy because whenever my podcast would either be scheduled or when I would be, getting ready to release it, he would already have his Motivation Monday just released on Twitter and everywhere else. And I'm like, dude, we got to stop doing this. We need to talk to each other before we release our stuff, because we were literally always on the same page. Like, great minds think alike. I think I texted you that, or I DM'd you that. I was like, dude, great minds think alike all the time, because we were always on the same page.
It was crazy. So
Yeah.
you're completely self-taught in cybersecurity.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I believe you just recently got your first job in cybersecurity. If
Yes,
I'm not
I
mistaken.
did. Yeah, I started in October. So a little background about that. I have an associate's in computer science, and before I decided to pursue the associates, I was teaching myself, the basic MySpace. Everybody's story always starts the same. I was learning HTML and CSS on MySpace. So I was teaching myself HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I was going through the Colt Steel Udemy course, and got the basic knowledge there about backends, MongoDB he uses, Node.js, and JSON. And I think I ran into somebody's Instagram where she was covering how she was doing some sort of hacking or something with Minecraft. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And one of the hashtags was cybersecurity. So I started looking into it a little bit more. And obviously, like always, you land into the ethical hacker, pen tester, red teamer thing. And I know everybody says, like, yeah, it's not always about pen testing or red teaming, but I like it. So that's why I started to teach myself a little bit more about, the basics of hacking, and how to blog for a little while, which covered the beginner topics, or just breaking down. I called it for dummies. And then, I faced a lot of imposter syndrome, and finally somebody was like, all right, you need to man up and just apply. So that's what I did. I mean, it took a couple of rounds of interviews, and I was like, I'm not going to get this job. And I'm very confident with my interviewing skills. And I was like, yeah, I'm not getting it. It's fine. It's interviewing practice, but I landed it. It took a year of brutal self-studying. Yeah.
And I believe me and you had a few phone calls about interviews and telling you, look, just fucking do it. Just fucking go for it, homie.
Yeah. I had, I think, a phone call with you and Eric. And I was just like, I'm scared. I'm terrified of what the outcome is going to be, because I've been busting my ass to get to where I'm at now. And what if, even though it's my first ever application that I put in for cybersecurity, what if I don't get it? And I was like, at this point, I was like, if I don't get it, I fucking quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And luckily, that's not what happened. And I'm pretty sure if I told you that, you would have been like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, stop thinking like that. Keep on going.
Because you're a soldier, right? If I'm not mistaken, you're a soldier. I'd have definitely come over there and pulled the rank and been like, look here. You're gonna just do it. But yeah, so a lot of people have this take, and we're going to kind of pivot a little bit just because of this comment right here, and what you've been going through, learning on your own, and things of that nature. But we got Brandon here. Imposter syndrome is so real. I've seen people recently this year, with as much as we've put out about imposter syndrome and everybody else. I've talked about it on Walk With Me. I've talked about it on Happy Hour. I've talked about it on Motivation Monday. Vanessa, I believe you talked about it on your podcast the same week I talked about it on Monday. That it is so real, and it is so much of what holds us back. that for people to sit here and say it's not real blows my mind.
Right.
Absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I feel like at this point, when I first was, you know, I made the decision to apply, I it was not the feeling of like, oh man, what if I don't do it? It was an actual physical feeling of like desperation and like sadness, and it was to the point where I was just like, I wouldn't be able to do this if I continue this way. You know, it's real. It's brutal, and it's unfortunately, I know mental health isn't something that we talk about a lot, but it takes a big toll on your mental health if you don't take care of it quickly.
What do you mean not a lot? I think I talk about that like every week. What are you talking about? But no, mental health is
No,
so
I'm
vital.
saying like
And
I do like a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people unfortunately ignore mental.
they do. And that I think is
But personally, I grew up unfortunately ignoring it.
yeah, and I think that mental health is something we've all ignored, right? It's so taboo still that every single person has ignored it for so long where it all right, I might get a little bit of hate for this, but men especially are told to ignore their mental health. For years they were told and grew up, man up, you can do it. Don't cry. Don't show emotion. Don't be upset. You're the rock. You can do all this. Da 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 da. And it went on. Don't get me wrong. Some women are the same way, and they were brought up the same way for what through whatever. But commonly in society, it's been men. Not saying women don't deal with it. Just saying that most common it's been men that were raised that way. And so with that, even going through the military, sick call was, oh, you're a bitch. Oh, what? You're hurt? You're not allowed to be hurt. You can't be hurt. Females and women feel it too in the military. You're not allowed to be hurt. You're not a soldier if you're hurt. You got mental health issues? Nuh-uh. You ain't getting promoted. You're not allowed. Like these things happen. And so we never took care of ourselves, which is why now I have done so much to try to combat that. And you have others in industry that have done so much to combat that because mental health is so vital to our success. Burnout is real. Imposter syndrome is real. And if you're going through college writing a paper and you get writer's block, guess what? That's still mental health. That's still you needing to take a break and walk away and being like, you know what? I need to step away. I need to take a breath. I need to meditate. I need to ground myself outside in the earth, whatever the case may be. You need to get your mind right and take that introspective look at yourself. And I think we don't give ourselves enough leeway. We're so afraid to fail. We're so afraid to do wrong. We're so afraid to do anything that we don't care anymore. We quit taking care of ourselves. Everybody else comes first. The job comes first. And that's the wrong way to look at it. Man, I got like five more things here I got to look at. Let's see. So we got Carrie here. I'm gonna let you, Vanessa and Liana, chime in on this. Carrie. So Carrie had a question earlier about help desk and some other things. I got to go find it. I forgot to start. We'll get back to it, but I do want to touch on this. I keep thinking I don't belong in IT or cyber. People keep telling me I belong. I'm not getting anywhere. I am still trying to learn. Whether it's a degree, certification, or anything else, you two, please go ahead and give your take.
You can go ahead first.
All right. So here's the deal, Carrie. Here's the deal. If you don't think you belong, then you're gonna have a problem. Period. Point blank. It has to come from within. At the core of everything that you're getting ready to do, other than learning about the technical aspect, you have to believe deep down in your heart that you belong in the industry. Because no matter what, if we keep telling you that you belong and you don't feel that way, no matter how much you're trying to learn, your mind is not going to get past that. it's about having a mindset towards being a lifelong learner and finding other people that gel with you, that you connect with, that can help back you up, that can help support you. It's not just learning about, oh, I got to get this certification, I got to go get this degree. It's really a whole mindset thing. Because, like, for me, it's taken me 10 years to get to where I'm at now. If I would have given up 10 years ago, I wouldn't be right here. But you have to know whether or not this is for you. And you'll know that in your heart of hearts, whether it's for you or not. If you're trying to do it just to move into the industry, to do it for the money, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no amount of money that you can get paid and you're going to be like, oh, I'll stay. If you're miserable, you're miserable. If you don't feel like it's for you, then you're going to just be upset. You're going to be miserable and you're going to be unhappy.
Man,
Yeah,
that's Liana coming through. Go ahead, Vanessa.
yeah, she really did hit all the points. It's true. Being in cyber, you're a lifelong learner. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're gonna be learning. Everything changes every single day. So, like she said, if you don't feel like you belong now, you have to change that mindset and make sure that you're confident with yourself and your learning skills to get into the field.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong there, Vanessa. I think there's so much that goes into it. You have to believe in yourself, and it takes time. Don't get me wrong, but we're all lifelong learners, and it's about proving that you do belong. Right? So many of us are in different situations, and because we grow up differently, and because we're raised differently, and because we all have a different path. That is one of the things that I think people fail to realize is that there's no one right way into the industry. There's no one right way into what you truly love. It may take you longer. And yes, the failures are going to hurt. Falling down and brushing your knee hurts. Think of it like a 3-year-old. If you were learning something brand new, I'm learning how to ride a bike and I fall on gravel, it's going to hurt. You're going to skin your knee. You're going to cry. You're going to get upset. It's going to be painful. But guess what? The only way to learn how to ride a bike is to get your ass back up and try it again and try it again and try it again until it works. Things are going to change, but you have to believe in yourself. And that's whether you're going through college or not going through college or going through a certification or not going through a certification. If you fail to believe in yourself when you're trying to get into a career field, then you have to really take a look at, do you really want to be in that career field? Because anybody who really has the passion for this will find a way. They will believe in themselves enough, and they're going to get hurt, and it's going to suck, and you're going to miss out on jobs and career opportunities and everything else. But the right job will find you because the company will fit and you'll fit. It'll feel right. If you don't turn down any of the jobs that you apply for, then you're not looking for the right company to work for. Which means there may come a time where you're looking for a job and the company doesn't feel right. But guess what? I want to get into cybersecurity, so I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to go for it. But the company didn't feel right. The culture wasn't right. Nothing was right. You just wanted the money and your foot in the door. So take it, work there 6 months to a year. You're going to be absolutely miserable. But you got the experience, so you better be looking for your way out. Because I'm sorry, there's certain companies that some people just can't work for. The culture isn't a fit for them. Kind of like the ones that would tell me to go to an office. That shit ain't happening for me no more. I don't go to offices. I ain't been into an office since 2018. I ain't never going back.
I don't miss the office at all.
And I'd like to add on to that for just a little bit more. It's not a race. I mean, take your time. The industry isn't going anywhere. There's millions. I don't remember what the actual gap is between the jobs and the filling of the jobs, but there's millions of job opportunities for cybersecurity. So just take your time and don't burn yourself out.
Did this man just do a disappearing act on us?
I think so. I was about
I'm
to
like,
ask, where'd he go?
I'm like, wait a second. I'm looking down in the corner. I'm like, no, it's not me. It's not me. Oh man, he just zooped up out of here.
Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
I know you had your podcast and I know we dropped it up here, but make sure before we get out of here that you drop it again for the folks that just joined us not too long ago, because I heard your podcast was popping. I'm trying to be nosy.
I unfortunately haven't done anything to it in a while. I've been very, very much so focused on a new nonprofit that we've started. It's 8 of us that started, called Latinas in Cyber. So we've just been busting our necks to make sure that we have, the resources in the community to give the resources to. So
Hey.
had to take I had to put the podcast in the back burner.
You're not the only one. It's funny. I've been talking to a lot of people, and everyone's just like, nah, it's got to sit on the back burner. But we're coming back strong. So when you do come back strong, just know I'll be ready. I'll be waiting. I'll be listening with my big earphones.
Oh, I'm gonna push her to keep coming back because of the fact that she's left me hanging. Because look, she knows, and I've told her I don't listen to many podcasts. As of today, there were 2 that I listened to religiously. Hers and Mama D. She does crap. I can't think of her podcast. Pedals of Support. I listen to like mental health, kind of like help your way type podcast. Hers and Pedals of Support were the ones I was listening to, and she left me, and now all I got is Mama D on Pedals of Support until Vanessa comes back. So I'm be coming for Vanessa. She's gonna be bringing back some podcasts because I can't be the only one with podcasts out here.
Gonna need all the content we could get for this new year.
Right.
But
right,
I think because it's the mental health aspect, it is something we are sorely missing. And I love what Vanessa was bringing into the table. And it took me a little while to realize she wasn't releasing anything. It kind of like slipped my mind. I was like, wait, I ain't seen Vanessa in a while. Wait, I ain't seen a tweet from Vanessa in a while. Go into my app. I ain't got a podcast for Vanessa in like a month. What is going on here? Hey, Vanessa, what the fuck? And that's when she told me. And so, look, I am proud of. So actually, since you mentioned it, please, I beg of you, we let Eric do it all the time. Granted, I kind of talk to him about it a lot too. But please promote what you are trying to do with the Latinas in cyber.
But yeah, thank you for allowing me to. So when I first started getting myself into the tech industry, I felt a little lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking for those Latinas to talk to about how much I hate JavaScript, but I love it at the same time. How much I like Python, and once I switched over to cybersecurity, I realized that although everybody was very much so, welcoming and willing to help, there was little Latinas. There wasn't a lot of Latinas that were in the industry, and luckily I was messaged by somebody named Angela Hill, and she was like, hey, I want to start a small little group called Latinas in Cyber. Are you interested in joining? Of course I said yes, of course. And once we started digging into the analytics behind Hispanics and Latinas specifically in cybersecurity, it's under 2%. So we were like, this is an issue and we need to do something about it. So we started in September, I believe it was. September, we started, releasing content out and releasing ourselves and like just telling everybody about our mission. And we've just been getting like super phenomenal feedback from it. So we have a Discord. If you go to Latinas in Cyber on LinkedIn, on Instagram, we're on Twitter as well. If you go into any of those platforms, you can probably find our Discord link in there and just join the community. We're welcoming everybody. You don't have to be Latina. You don't have to be a female. You guys are more than welcome to join us. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Look, I just got to say, the fact that you never told me you had a Discord server kind of aggravates me, Vanessa. We're going to be fighting because I knew nothing about this until I saw a post from you, I think on LinkedIn. We're going to be fighting.
I know, it's crazy because
I thought we were family.
We are. It's just been like, I've never realized how difficult it is to actually start a community. And you know, kudos to you yourself for having the Discord and the YouTube channel and everything. It's so hard. And you know, as I've been blessed to be the I've been blessed to be their executive director as well. So being in charge of you know, making sure that we give this platform for women to come and, you know, be comfortable to join the industry or just try to talk about it. It's still really hard. But yeah, no, we just opened it up probably like either the beginning of this week or last week. So we've just been trying to figure that out. But yeah, no, I've been like MIA to be quite honest with you. I think you messaged me on Twitter. You're like, yo, this is the first time I saw a tweet from you in like 3 years.
I'm like, what the fuck happened? Me and you used to talk all the time. Then all of a sudden it was ghost. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. yeah.
That'd be like Liana all of a sudden not showing up on my Twitter feed.
I know.
A bunch of shit about Security Plus and
stuff
like that. And that would be like her disappearing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
literally.
That's how I feel with half of my Twitter feed sometimes. I'm like, where the hell did everybody go?
Dude, so Kalila Scott, so Key Twice, I messaged her because I'm like, look, TechSec Chicks doing big things. I want people from TechSec Chicks on the show. And I was like, you like disappeared from my feed. So like I haven't been able to comment or do anything because unless I go to you personally, which I'm gonna be honest, I ain't got time to like individually look people up and look at their feeds. I'm like, you like disappeared. So like, look, TechSec Chicks, I want some of your girls on my show. And I'm waiting for her to respond. I'm sure she'll get to it eventually. But still, I'm just like, so many people have just gone.
They're building communities. That's what it is. And building communities takes time. Because when you don't see me and I'm not on your feed, I'm building one of my own in the background. And it just...
look, hey, hold up. I do want to shout out what Geechee Nation's doing and what they're trying to do. If you are not aware, they do have a GoFundMe out right now and a Cash App. I'm sure Liana, please put it in chat what they're trying to do. Geechee Nation doing a lot of big things.
The Gullah Geechee folk, that's my kin folk, and I always tell people, if you support me, you support we. The Gullah Geechee Nation, which is where I'm from and where I get my name from, we do have a legal fund, so we are still continuing on working on getting our land back. So if you got some money and you want to drop it there to support me and support my people, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, please do. I want to see that. Doing big things. I've been seeing your tweets. I've been trying to like help out a little bit, but I got no money with 5 kids. So.
Man, every time you tell me you got 5 kids, I just cry on the inside. Okay, I just, I don't know.
Look, all the ways to support me are down below.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, you got to remind folks, 5. I can't even count past 3, less than 5. Good luck. You got a football team.
Right.
Oh man.
So yeah, like I got the merchandise too. My boy actually at work was like, "Hey, is that a Security Happy Hour hoodie?" Yeah, you damn straight it is. That's what I'm rocking today.
Hey, do it down.
But no, look, hey, we're almost at the top of the hour, and we've talked a lot. We've talked about the pros and cons of degrees and certifications and things like that. Vanessa, you came on late. You've given your spiel. And you are completely self-taught, but you do have an associate's. So please give me the pros and cons and your viewpoint of getting a degree.
So the pros is getting through the HR gates. The cons is student debt. Because cybersecurity is I don't want to say a new field, but new with like the educational piece of everything, or at least from where I was getting my degree at, it was still covering only like computer science topics. And then obviously it covered a lot of the privacy and legal side of things. And I honestly just decided to drop it and just pursue the self-taught route. I think before I fell off the face of the earth, I was still going through my EJPT studying, and I didn't even take the cert yet. So I'm still in that in that phase of trying to get a certification at least. But You don't need a degree. In my opinion, it's a huge debate. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't think you need a degree. Unless you're trying to get up there with the execs, you don't need one.
Awesome. And yeah, I'm gonna let Liana give her spiel, and then I'll go on with mine. I'll give my 2 cents and close out the episode.
Well, y'all already know what the hell I'm gonna say. You don't need a degree. Listen, you don't need a degree. Can you teach yourself? Can you reach out to people when you have questions? We've got YouTube, we've got phones. Like, my God, we've got a $1,200 tablet that we can literally take the time out, go on YouTube, look up blogs. If you're really dedicated about this, you can do this. Now, if you're trying to go up the ranks, like Vanessa said, or if you're in the military's paying for it. Listen, if you're in the military paying for it, you better go get that damn degree. You better go get that damn clearance and call it a day. But if you're on the civvy side like me and you really don't want to go put tens and thousands of dollars into your degree, take your time. There's plenty of research out here. The industry is not going anywhere. And like Vanessa said, because also I got started in IT coming over to cybersecurity almost 10 years ago. The industry did not look like what it looks like now from an educational perspective. So if you're interested in the industry, get your ass in here now before we get ready to change all over again, because you're going to have to get with the times. The longer you wait to get into cybersecurity, the longer you're going to have to wait to get with the times. Take your time. Take your time and look at your paycheck and look at your wallet. Because if you really don't need to spend $100,000 to go get a cybersecurity degree when you could have went to community college and spent maybe $10,000, $15,000 or even less than that, listen, it's all about you. What you gonna do? Put up or shut up?
You know, Liana, you and your listen. You do it all the time. I love it. But no, you're right. It's and Diego got right here. He said, well said, just start now. And he's not wrong. Here's the big thing. No matter what you're going to do, no matter what, I could care less whether you're in it for money, actually, that's a lie. If you're in it for money, I mean, it's going to be really, really hard to keep learning. Just my opinion, if that's the only reason you're in this. But I digress. Your education comes from, whether or not you want to pay for college. Yes, there's a lot of pros. There are a lot of pros. You can get a lot of soft skills. You can learn to write. You can learn to speak in front of people. You can learn to interact with different communities. Go into the right college. And I'm not talking Harvard, Yale, or any of them bullshit colleges that are going to cost you an exuberant amount of money for no fucking reason. I'm talking your community colleges, your state schools, the schools that people can actually semi-afford. Those will get you that community. They'll allow you to interact with different people and understand how to talk to different cultures. When you go higher up and you're looking at these more expensive schools, you're just talking elite. And I don't think it's worth it. Now, saying that, there's also completely free options. Guess what? Take your ass out of your house, out of your community, and go talk to schools. Go talk to different cultures. Go learn about different people. And I bet you, your ability to communicate and write and do different things will only become better because you'll be able to interact. And that's the big thing. Diego got it again. Create a path. If you're going to do this the free way or the inexpensive route of EJPT, PNPT, things of that nature with certifications, please, if you mention OSCP, it better be for the sole purpose of passing HR, because that is the only reason to get that certification anymore. PNPT, EJPT, these types of certifications for the offensive side are great. BTL level 1 is great. There are so many pros to doing things the free or inexpensive route as well. But you got to be able to get out, and you got to make sure if you're an introvert, you got to pull that extrovert out of you at times to learn how to communicate, to learn how to talk to others. And I don't mean the way I talk on this show, because the way I talk on the show, fuck all. Man, some execs would be pissed off if I talk to them the way I talk on the show. But you got to be able to flip that switch and be able to talk in a more professional manner without using so many swear words like I tend to do. So, saying that, I do think there's pros and cons to both. But it's your own journey. It's your own path. There's no right way to get into cybersecurity. There's no right way to get into IT. As long as you are persistent, you are dedicated, and you are passionate, you will eventually land that first job, and you will eventually make your way through the career field. It's just going to take time. You got to be patient. Even me coming out of the military with 5 certifications, actually, I think I was up to like 6 or 7 at the time. It took me months to find a job. I didn't find one right away. And my first job paid $65,000 a year. So you really want to talk about it. Try being married with 5 kids and making 65 grand a year. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. But it gets your foot in the door somewhere and you're able to step up, move on, move out, and do bigger and better things. So you may have to take a pay cut. But if you want this field, sometimes you got to start from the bottom. Otherwise, look, Vanessa, thank you for joining us as Faith dropped off because she is in South Africa and has other things going on. I love Faith. Thank you, Faith, for joining us. Thank you, Vanessa. Liana, as always, my partner in crime, thank you for being here. And look, I ran it all episode up until the closeout, the bottom of the screen, how you can support the channel, support the show, support all of the content CyberWarriorStudios puts out there for you, including this amazing hoodie right here. You can get it on our website, CyberWarriorStudios.com. Otherwise, I love you all. You are amazing. Thank you for joining me on this Thirsty Thursday, and I will catch you all next time.